you allow me to keep my life.
In the end, Myers couldn't escape his punishment.
The defendant does not understand how precious life is. We therefore unanimously find the sentence of death be imposed upon Austin Myers.
While Myers awaits execution, Mosley was sentenced to life imprisonment. However, Austin Myers wasn't the first teenager to do something incredibly cruel, like in the case of Dylan Roof, a South Carolina teenager who was in court for multiple murders.
So you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
In the summer of 2015, Roof quietly entered the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church, blending in with the attendees of a Bible study session.
Roof accused of committing one of the deadliest attacks on a place of worship in United States history. At 8 p.m. Wednesday night, he enters the historic Mother Emanuel AME Church. Witnesses say he joined the prayer group, sitting with church members for nearly an hour.
Once inside, Roof opened fire, fatally shooting 9 people, all African Americans.
21-year-old Dylan Roof allegedly opened fire in one of the most famous black churches in the South.
Many of the victims killed grandparents in their 70s and 80s.
The following day, Roof was apprehended and taken into custody.
The suspect in Wednesday night's deadly church massacre now in custody.
Roof's crime was motivated by racist ideologies, and the shooting caused so much uproar that President Obama had to address the nation.
This took place in a black church. Obviously also raises questions about the dark part of our history. This is not the first time that black churches have been attacked.
In the course of their investigations, police found his racist writings and a list of black churches he planned to attack.
Prosecutors laid out his racially inflammatory writings, photos of the Confederate flag, and a potential hit list of other churches found in his car.
During questioning, Roof admitted his crime.
Went to the church in Charleston.
So you shoot him?
Yes.
What kind of gun did you use?
A Glock 45.
Roof showed just how much he didn't care with his worrying lack of remorse.
I did it.
You did what? Well, I know it's tough sometimes to say.
It's not that I don't want to say it because I don't want to make myself seem guilty. I just don't really like saying.
But I know sometimes we have to face those things, the realities.
What it exactly is that you did do?
Well, I killed him. Well, I guess. I mean, I don't really know.
So did you shoot him?
Yes.
During his trial, prosecutors proved that Roof was a white supremacist.
In the sick world of white supremacists, the number 8 has come to represent the 8th letter of the alphabet, H. So 88 means HH, and it refers to Heil Hitler, Nazi Germany's salute to the madman Adolf Hitler. The number 88 was also emblazoned across a t-shirt worn by Dylan Roof.
They also showed that he had scoped out the church beforehand and had even practiced his shooting skills.
Jurors are getting to see this admitted racist and accused killer at target practice. Police say 22-year-old Dylan Roof recorded himself at home using the same .45 caliber Glock he's accused of using in the shootings at this historic black church.
In the end, there was only one sentence for such a mindless act. Roof was sentenced to death. However, it's not the first time a convict thoughtlessly took the life of others, just like what happened in the notorious case of Devin Erickson and Alec McKinney, facing murder charges in Colorado.
Inside that school shooting in Colorado, the 2 suspects, both students, 9 students shot, one of them killed as he rushed the gunman. Children from kindergarten to 12th grade inside that school, their distraught parents waiting for word that they were safe.
On the 7th of May, 2019, 18-year-old Erickson and 16-year-old McKinney shot up a school in Douglas County. They injured 8 students and fatally shot 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo, a brave student who tried to stop the madness.
His family telling reporters that Kendrick once said if there was ever a school shooter, he wouldn't think twice about acting.
Kendrick Castillo, along with his classmates Joshua Jones and Brendan Biley, displayed remarkable bravery by confronting Erickson as his gun jammed, effectively stopping the shooting.
Complete disregard for his own safety. He was immediately there to respond. He was immediately on the shooter, and he was ready to end the threat.
Brandon Bialy, a Marine recruit, was one of the boys who lunged towards the shooter.
There was fear. I still look back at it, and I still feel a bit of fear when I think back to it. But after that point, it is just doing what I thought I should do.
With their help, officers rushed in and arrested them. with Erickson admitting that he was forced into doing the crime.
The dramatic scenes show a race to stop the shooters. Here, Alec McKinney is seen on the ground and searched. Several bullets were found. Near the same time, another group of law enforcement officers enters. Meantime, Douglas County Sergeant Joe White was seen rescuing student Jerry Montoya, taking him out of the school. A video was played in court as a detective recorded a brief interview with Devin Erickson just after the shooting took place.
How many shooters do you have?
Two. There's two. Yeah.
Why?
He's making me give him a bunch of stuff, and then it's me. I was just supposed to watch it. There's only one who's going to let me live.
In court, McKinney refuted the idea that he forced Erickson into the shooting.
I believe we share equal responsibility for everything that happened.
Right.
No one tried to stop anyone. No one forced anyone into this. We were both mutually agreeing. Kind of the pushing point to going through with the plan we had talked about previously.
During the sentencing hearing, Erickson's grandfather spoke in court.
The Devin we knew was not the Devin you've heard about here today. He's a loving, caring, absolutely outstanding person. He made a big mistake, yes, but he's a great guy.
The sister also talked about the brothers she remembered.
First off, I do want to give my sincere condolences to the victims and their families. I truly know that Devin fully regrets what happened on that tragic day. The Devin I know has always had a very kind heart. He has only given me and my family the most caring love in the world, and I wish more than anything that this never happened. I know in my heart that this was not him. I love you forever, Devin, and I miss you every day.
For the father, the whole incident was devastating.
Like most people, I want to start with apologies and sympathies to the people who are heavily, well, some very, very heavily impacted, especially the Castillo family. Losing their son, I don't know how anybody can ever understand what that could be like. We try to, but it's impossible to know what it's like to lose your son, especially if it's your only son. I'm sure their hearts are ripped apart, and we heard that they still are. We hope someday that they will be able to heal. We all know this was just a senseless tragedy, and we do hope, though, that somewhere in the future that they will be healed from this.
We called the names of the injured students to remember them.
I want to recognize each one by name because it's important to us that we recognize the people who are impacted by this. So I'll start with Lucas Albertoni, Stephen Bartoni, Jackson Gregory, Mitchell Krause, Joshua Jones, Gerardo Montoya Ojeda, Thomas Saya, and Alexander Watford. Those are people that I don't know how they will ever forget what happened to them, and they'll have physical and emotional scars for the rest of their lives. And we're so sorry for that.
Devin's mother also addressed the judge.
I am so very sorry to Mr. and Mrs. Castillo for the loss of their son, Kendrick. I am a parent, and I cannot begin to imagine the pain of losing a child. I know you both have holes in your hearts that will never, ever, ever be filled. And please, please know that we do care. And we have been praying for you both, as well as everyone else, since the beginning.
In the end, Erickson was handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
Mr. Erickson, I'm sure you know this. When a person is convicted of crimes like the ones that you committed, they are so serious that the sentence must be at least the midpoint of the presumptive range, not more than twice the maximum sentence. Many of these must run consecutive. Many may run consecutive. Everyone's pointed out this is a life without parole sentence, so you won't be completing this sentence. And when you do, you will not be committing criminal offenses. There's also nothing, no part of this sentence that I can impose that's going to repair the harm that you did that day. It's going to help these folks walk out of this courtroom and say, I feel better now. And yet, another factor for me to consider is to punish a convicted offender by assuring the imposition of a sentence he deserves in relation to the seriousness of his offense. So what you do with the rest of your life in prison, it's not on me, that's on you.
While McKinney received a life sentence with the possibility of parole after 20 years because he's a minor. However, could the case of Brandon Bradley be considered a little bit crazier? Bradley is facing murder charges for fatally shooting a police officer in Florida.
Accused of stealing items from a Melbourne hotel.
On March 26, 2012, Bradley and his girlfriend stole some items from a hotel. When Deputy Sheriff Barbara Pill confronted him, He shot her multiple times, ending her life.
She had pulled him over for stealing a few items from a motel and was shot point blank 4 times.
He then fled, but was later captured. In court, his girlfriend testified to his motives.
He was continuing to ask her, why are you going to shoot me? What did I do for you to shoot me? Why are we being pulled over? Why do I need to step out of the vehicle?
The prosecution pointed out that the shooting was deliberate and intentional.
That Brandon Bradley told her, you see me, I'm not going to prison. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. Prevent her from sending me to prison if I have to shoot and crack her.
But the defense disagreed. They claimed that Bradley had been high on narcotics and wasn't himself.
And that equipment included marijuana, Xanax, ecstasy, pretty much you name it, we weren't involved. They were not in the right frame of mind. She got no explanation for that.
However, an expert toxicologist testified that the evidence doesn't support their conclusion.
And you can't use this blood test done hours later to establish that. It's not possible.
Bradley was found guilty and sentenced to death.
Murder for the unlawful killing of Deputy Barbara Pill. For this crime, the court sentenced you to be put to death in the manner prescribed by law.
But following a Supreme Court sentence, his sentence was commuted to life imprisonment. While it was clear that Brandon Bradley is severely messed up, his actions are similar to that of Marcus Fishburne, who's facing charges for murder in Florida.
The body of 25-year-old Asia Levy was found in a closet at the Green Tree Place Apartments last Friday.
In December 2019, Fishburne fatally stabbed his roommate's girlfriend, 25-year-old Aisha Levy. Fishburne was staying with the friend and his girlfriend when he went crazy and attacked the girl. He then wrapped her body and hid it in the closet.
25-year-old Aisha Levy. She was dating his roommate, who discovered blood and bleach inside their Bay Meadows apartment last week. Police found her body wrapped in plastic in a container in the closet there. Cops arrested Fishburne at a Greyhound bus station downtown. Fishburne was recently arrested for attacking his own father, a dad in disbelief.
He's not the type of person to just look at someone and just go off on it. It's like something had to go on that we don't know anything about.
Fishburne had a violent past and had already assaulted his past girlfriends.
A woman filed a restraining order against Fishburne, claiming he was violent and forced her to have sex with him. Records show he has several arrests in Indiana for 2 different battery charges and evasion of privacy.
While awaiting sentencing in jail, Fishburne stabbed another inmate.
Thick scar on his neck, and said the confrontation occurred after Fishburne stole items from his jail cell. Fishburne denied stealing anything, saying Stripling is a member of the Cut jail gang who was threatening him.
In court, he claimed it was for self-defense. The jury found him guilty, and now it's time he learns his sentence.
This court finds that death is the appropriate penalty for the defendant, given the highly egregious nature of this crime.
Fishburne is still awaiting his execution. While some may attribute Fishburne's actions to mental illness, it pales in comparison to the unfathomable behavior of 15-year-old Kenneth Young, who's in a Florida court on murder charges.
As much as I know that he wants to be released, I'm not ready to have him walking around where I live, and I'm not moving.
In mid-2000, 14-year-old Young participated in multiple armed robberies after his mother's crack dealer threatened to murder him if he didn't join in. The group had went and robbed several stores at gunpoint over the course of 30 days. Year, Young was sentenced to 4 life sentences, even though nobody was shot or killed during the robbery. In 2010, the Supreme Court ruled that juveniles should not be handed a life sentence. Due to this ruling, Young was back in court for resentencing. In court, his attorney pointed out his age at the time of the crime and how much he had changed.
Kenneth was 14 years old at the time of the first offense, and all 4 offenses occurred within a 30-day time period. What the state must do is give defendants like Graham some meaningful opportunity to obtain release based on demonstrated maturity and rehabilitation. We're going to show today that Kenneth Young has demonstrated maturity and rehabilitation. And that is what the heart of this resentencing is all about.
He pointed out that juveniles are easily manipulated by adults and called a criminal psychologist to testify.
Now, based on your evaluations, what is the psychological significance that Kenneth was only 14 and 15 years old at the time of the offenses?
Juveniles are different, one, in terms of their susceptibility to persuasion and their ability to be led by others. Second way, they're different. Adolescents take less of a concern and are less able to understand others' perspectives. They're more self-focused. And many people who have adolescents kind of realize that during their teenage years.
Young even assured the judge that he had turned a new leaf.
First and foremost, Your Honor, I want to take the time out and say I take full responsibility for my actions and my role in these crimes. I have lived with regret every day as a civilized human being for these crimes. I have been incarcerated for 11 years, and I have taken advantage of every opportunity available for me in prison to better myself. I have been a model prisoner while being incarcerated. I have been in educational programs. I have taken care of elderly inmates. I have worked with mental inmates. Also, I have learned that the condition of your mind creates the condition of your ways. So I strive every day for good standards. I am no longer the same person I used to be. I have people who believe in me, and most of all, family who supports me. 1 Corinthians chapter 33, verse 11 say, when I was a child, I thought as a child. When I became a man, I put away all childish things. I want to turn around and apologize to my victim for what I did. I take full responsibility and I apologize for that. Thank you, Your Honor.
The devastated mother begged for his son to be released.
Please, Your Honor, help me put my family back together.
But the victims of the robbery have not gotten over the trauma of that incident.
How long has the gun held to your head?
It didn't seem like it was that long, but it was long enough.
Now, are the assailants saying anything to you?
Oh yeah, they are wanting to know where the safe is, where's the money. You need to tell us, otherwise, some explicatives, your butt, the whole thing.
Tell us what they said.
Really?
On here, word for word.
Well, they wanted to know where the damn money was. If we didn't tell them, they were going to shoot us. They were, kicking us. One of them actually put the gun on my head. I had a bruise for days. I had photos of it I can't find.
Ma'am, what are you thinking at the point that you have this gun to your head?
God and I are good. Well, I went through a checklist that fast. God and I are good. When they say your life flashes before your eyes, it does. As much as I know that he wants to be released, I'm not ready to have him walking around where I live, and I'm not moving.
In the end, the judge resentenced him to 30 years.
You will not get it, sir, because you do not deserve it.
After a review, the sentence was reduced to 21 years. While Young's actions could certainly be dismissed as an effect of juvenile actions, the same can't be said for the case of Seth South, who is facing charges for double murder in Washington.
South is accused of stabbing his two half-brothers to death inside their home in Poulsbo on Wednesday.
I can give the answer now. Nobody would disagree with me.
In October 2024, South called the police and reported that his brothers, 16-year-old Sebastian and 17-year-old Scotty, were dead. He readily admitted to killing them. The police eventually caught up with him as he was trying to escape.
Driver, show me your hands! Hands out the window! Keep your hands out the window! If you reach in that car, I'm gonna shoot you. Do you understand me? Step out. Get on the ground.
On the ground, on the ground, on the ground.
In court, his attorney claimed he was mentally incompetent and should be in a hospital.
Lawyers asked for a mental competency evaluation. The prosecution stating the 23-year-old was a risk to himself and others.
The defendant, for the reasons stated, is an extreme risk of murder to another brother that is at large in our community.
As if to prove that he's mentally ill, he interrupted the judge.
I can give the answer now.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the next...
Nobody would disagree with me.
And even turned to leave the court.
It's accomplished.
During Thursday's court appearance, South attempted to make multiple comments. He even tried walking away before correction officers grabbed him, keeping him in place.
Luckily, the officers restrained him. If found guilty, South will likely get the death penalty. Let's not forget the shocking incident involving Russell Burrell, who's facing murder charges in Rhode Island.
You took the life of her son, my grandson, for what? I don't desire revenge, but I do ask for justice. and to impose the maximum penalty as the law allows.
On a tragic day in July 2012, 16-year-old Burrell, without any provocation, fatally shot 3 people in a housing complex.
He shot and killed 3 people in July of 2012 in Providence. 22-year-old Shamika Barrows, her boyfriend, 23-year-old Michael Martin, and a friend of theirs, 22-year-old Damian Cologne.
During the trial, the prosecution told the court how everything happened.
Bullets fired by Russell Burrell struck and killed both Michael Martin and Damian Cologne. As Russell Burrell was firing at Mr. Martin and Mr. Cologne in the kitchen, Shamika Barrows woke up from the couch in the living room.
In a touching moment, one of the victim's grandmothers addressed Burrell.
You took the life of her son, my grandson, for what? You committed a horrible, evil act, murdering 3 precious persons, resulting from your sick soul. I don't desire revenge, but I do ask for justice and to impose the maximum penalty as the law allows.
The victim's mother also had some words for him.
Every day comes with the struggle of having to walk past his bedroom door